Hi, welcome to Homeschool Advice with Laura Geis. I'm Laura Geis, author of the Homeschool Toolkit and founder of HomeschoolAdviceOnline.com. This week's question says, how detailed should my homeschool lesson plans be? So we've been talking about plan books this week, and so this question has to do with lesson planning. Well, as a general rule of thumb, I would suggest that your lesson plans should not take you longer to write out than it will take you to actually teach the lesson. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't make them too detailed. What you need in your plan book is just a skeleton of what the lesson will be. And as you teach the lesson, you'll add the flesh onto the lesson. Besides, most plan books don't give you a whole lot of space to write your lesson plans. So I just want to give you a few tips on some of the ways I do things. I'm sure some of you have even better ideas than I do. One of my sons right now, he's reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So he's using this literature guide. So rather than writing, answer questions 1 through 10 over chapters 7 and 8 in my plan book, which that's a lot of words. What I do is I go through his literature guide and I write down on the first day, I'll write day 1, read chapter 1. Day 2, read chapter 2. Day 3, the vocabulary. Day 4, answer questions 1 through 10. And I write it in pencil in the actual literature guide. And then if I know this study, after I finish going through the book, maybe it's going to take 35 days to get through this. In my plan book, all I have to write is Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. I'll just write Lion, day 1. And then he'll know to get out his literature guide for the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and he'll look and see what is my assignment for day 1. So that way I don't have very much to write in my plan book, but he still knows what to do. So you can try something like that to make your lesson planning easy. Another thing, like for math. In math, usually your teacher's guide will tell you all kinds of activities you need to do. So I simply write down, do lesson 20 in your book. And usually with younger kids, you're going to be going through that math with them anyway. But one thing I've learned to do, sometimes my older kids will do most of their math on their own. And then what they will do, if they get to a part that they don't understand, they just put a giant question mark in that section. And then later in the day, I call them over, we grade their math, and we go over any of the question marks that they had. And that's how we handle math. So all I write in my plan book is, lesson 120. Another thing I've done, if a child does their work and I'm grading it on my own, they're not sitting with me, and I notice, section 3, they're having a little problem with that, then I just go to the next day's assignment in their book and I write at the top of the assignment, see me about section 3. And that is a reminder to them and a reminder to me that I need to go over that with them. So that's something I do. I just use their books to write most of the lesson plan in, so that I don't have to write a lot actually on the lesson planning sheet. Now some of you might think, I don't need a lesson plan book because I have my lessons all planned out for me. Like this is my son Ryan's plan book for reading, or what came with his reading program. This is a Sunlight, and they're so good. They give you week 12, and here's what you do on day 1, here's what you do on day 2, day 3. So I still like to have that in my plan book so that I know where we are. So what I would typically do is I would write for Monday, week 12, day 1. That's all I would write in my plan book. And then in this book, I might circle the activities that I want to make sure I do if I'm not going to do everything. So I use the teacher's guide and just mark it up a bit, usually in pencil because sometimes I'll resell or I want to change my notes. But I keep my lesson planning pretty simple and write myself a lot of notes in pencil, or I use Post-it pads in my teacher's guides, but I like to have everything in one place so I know this is what I need to teach today, this is what the kids need to do today, and I've got it all in one place. Simple, but effective. So I hope those suggestions help you. I'll see you next week.